What's good, planet Earth? Welcome to the channel. I'm Charlie and thank you for coming along for a video. Today I'm getting into a PayPal request and someone has asked for some more WGI. I have done one before. If you haven't seen it, I'll leave a link at the end of the video. You can go and watch it. This is Music City Mystique's 2024 WGI show and it's called The Red Line. Now, I've really enjoyed my first WGI reaction. I think it was RCC Finals 2023. Home, that was it. And I loved it. So I've been really looking forward to this. I'm sorry it's taken a while to do another one. It's just, you know, the order in which I do stuff is very much determined by my PayPal list of requests. But we're here. So anyway, if this is your first time on the channel and you love some WGI, then welcome, guys. The bulk of my marching arts content is DCI. But I am going to be getting into all kinds of different stuff because I am in this activity now. I'm also off to Indianapolis in August for DCI Finals, which I'm really, really excited about. There's going to be some great content. I can reveal this now because I've done the official announcement. I'm going to be shadowing the Blue Coats in the week leading up to the finals, which is going to be so cool. I'm going to get some insider, like an insider peek in the kind of goings on of the corps. I'll probably be following around a corps member for a day and just do kind of like a day in the life of a corps member. It's just going to be wicked. And then, you know, you're going to be able to see my first reaction to any of this stuff live, and it's just going to be a good time. It's going to be a real good time. Going to get some great videos. If you would like to donate to the cause, I'm nearly at target, and I can't believe we've got here in the time that we have. Everyone has been so generous, and I can't believe it. So if you want to donate to the cause and help me reach my goal, my GoFundMe is in the description, guys. You can go and do it there. Any help is greatly appreciated. Anyway, let's check this out. Without further ado, let's go.
Maybe you'll be fine too. Just don't let it fall.
WGI Sport of the Arts is proud to present Music City Mystique.
So, the Red Line.
Young people are bombarded by distorted visual images and twisted music messages that are saturating their mind and sabotaging their futures.
A contributing factor to our juvenile delinquency of today.
Okay, sorry, I'm just going to I'm going to comment on that. I know I'm stopping early here, but we will go back. I just want to comment on what was being said there. So talking about you know, sordid images and lyrics and music corrupting the minds of the young people, destroying their futures. That sounds like a very sort of like 60s opinion about like rock music, you know, rock and roll. It sounds like a quote from the 60s, something like 50s, 60s, something like that.
That are saturating their mind and sabotaging their futures.
A contributing factor to our juvenile delinquency of today.
Gangster rap has been a true detriment to society. Some of the heavy metal stuff is really satanic.
That was dope. Again. So talking about how hip hop is satanic. So the first quote seemed like it was from, as I say, kind of maybe the 60s, talking about rock and roll. That sounded like the kind of sentiments being talked about with rock and roll when it came out. Now we're talking about hip hop, which obviously came a bit later. That came about very late 70s, 80s, and into the 90s, and obviously onwards. But yeah.
Sabotaging their futures.
A contributing factor to our juvenile delinquency of today.
Okay, and you had some more red lines being pulled across the stage there.
Gangster rap has been a true detriment to society.
Very hip-hoppy bass there.
Stuff is really satanic.
Jeez. That was dope. Again. Oh, that was sick. Oh, there's such a lot of...
So we go to the store and buy Aerosmith records.
Okay, again, I love this. I'm sorry I'm stopping so much, but this is wicked. I really want to get what this... I think I know what this is about, okay? But these kids are killing it as well. There's so much freedom. It's not so tight. It's loose. Do you know what I mean? It's loose. It's cool. Oh, if this is about what I think it's about, that makes sense as well, okay? I think this is about pushing musical boundaries. So they started on the red line and they've gone into the darkness, right? And you've got all of these quotes talking about music that at the time was new, and you know there was a whole rhetoric going on about it, about how it was dangerous, you know, just trying to, because it conveyed a message. It was about, rock and roll was the same, hip hop was the same. It was speaking truth to power, and so obviously people didn't want that, and so, or the people in power didn't want that, and so you get this rhetoric in the media talking about how it's satanic and it's going to destroy your kids and all of this. So they were very much boundary pushing genres, especially rock and roll and especially hip hop. And this, even in the way that they're performing, is very loose. It's unlike what most marching arts are like, which is very tight, you know? Not all. We've seen looseness, you know, we've seen more freedom, depending on what the theme is, what the story is. But if this is about what I think it's about, their looseness makes sense, especially as you've got hip hop influences in there as well. You know, especially that last bit. It was very, yeah, I don't know. This is cool. This is cool as hell. Love this bit. Oh, it's dope.
We needed stuff to rap over, so we go to the store and buy Aerosmith records.
Run DMC and Aerosmith, which was a marrying of the two genres. You had rock and hip hop. Run DMC, that's Walk This Way. Again, pushing boundaries with two boundary pushing genres. So dope. Yeah, there we go. This is amazing.
I just do whatever I feel on stage. You know, I always did that.
It's NWA, I believe. That was sick. So that was like, oh, that was sick. So the drummers killed that bit. I loved it. But they also dragged like a red line across. And while they were doing their thing, it was like the red red line stretched and snapped like they were breaking another boundary, you know? Yeah, look. Like the music just burst out of that boundary.
But if you begin, as I do, with the idea of...
Oh, that was interesting.
But if you...
Oh, they were almost like an ear ringing sound, and they looked like they were still playing, but they weren't actually hitting the drum heads. So, like an explosion. That was like shell shock. So the music broke the boundary like an explosion. The music exploded out of its confined space, like an explosion, and then you were left with like a ringing in your ears noise from the explosion to a point, oh my God, this is so freaking clever. I hope I'm right about the things I'm saying, otherwise I'm going to look stupid, but I don't care.
But if you begin, as I do, with the idea of making a process, and if that process is in fact silent, the music is evident constantly, whether there are sounds or silences.
This is one of my favourite marching activity things I've seen ever, period. Already.
The idea of making a process, and if that process is in fact silent, the music is evident constantly, whether there are sounds or silences.
Wow.
An artist's duty is to reflect the times.
Okay, I'm going to do that bit again. I love this so much. It's actually putting a couple of tears in my eyes because I love a few things about this. I love, obviously, watching people be freaking amazing at something. Watching humans be really good at something, like unusually good, is amazing anyway. But I love hip hop and rock. They're two of my favorite genres ever. And I love boundary pushing. This show right here stands for everything that I love, you know, and they're killing it. But that silence there was profound.
Or silences, with the idea of making a process, and if that process is in fact silent, the music is evident constantly, whether there are sounds or silences. The idea of making a process, and if...
Listen to that again. I love that bit.
But if you begin, as I do, with the idea of making a process, and if that process is in fact silent, the music is evident constantly.
Who is that? That sounds a bit like Labi Siffre.
But if you begin, as I do, with the idea of making a process, and if that process is in fact silent, the music is evident constantly, whether there are sounds or silences.
Just music and the silence. This is so clever. And then you could see, so that it's the screaming started with this guy in the back right corner, and then the lights. I love these lights as well. They're lighting up as that kind of sound and the expression propagated throughout the rest of the core. These guys are called cores. Sorry, you're gonna have to excuse my ignorance here. But then the lights also propagated as the expression propagated, maybe signifying the boundary being moved back, you know, the red line being moved back. Maybe I'm going too far into it, I don't know.
An artist's duty is to reflect the times.
Nice. Woo! Yes. Great synchronicity there between the drummers and the vibraphone players. Oh, vibraphones, right? I need to get this right.
But is it music? This is not the important question. The important question is it interesting?
Eminem. Yes, Rap God. Yeah, so that's Eminem, Rap God, which at one point held the most syllables in a song, which was then beaten by, what's his name? Harry, I've forgotten his name. I'll think of it. But anyway, that's beside the point. Harry Shotter.
Man, stop.
Heavy metal stuff is really cinematic.
So good.
History just repeats itself.
Yeah, now they're moving
But
the...
it's up to those that have accomplished things to leave the doors open so everybody else can follow.
Right.
Music City Mystique from Nashville, Tennessee, under the direction of Josh Nelson.
Yeah. I think we've gone in too strong here, because I don't know how that is going to be topped. I don't know how, for me, like, regardless of what I'm interested in and my views and my what I enjoy in music, you know, the genres that I like, that was just fantastic. It was amazingly well done. The concept was amazing. It was brilliantly executed with fairly few props, you know, and a fairly simple stage. What do you call this, by the way? You're gonna have to excuse my ignorance when it comes to WGI. It's obviously not called a field because it's not on a field. It's not a stage particularly. What would you call it? On the floor? Stage? Is it still called a field? Court? I don't know. Anyway, so much to learn. I've thrown myself off now. So the design of the show is, what am I trying to get to? It's fairly simple and they did so much with it, but also the song choices were amazing. I never thought I would hear hip hop being played by any kind of marching band and it give off the correct vibe, a hip hoppy vibe, which is so loose. Marching arts are traditionally quite the opposite, you know, the opposite, incredibly tight, incredibly, like, you know, regimented, and it just worked. However, I do love the theme. It is important to me. They're two of my favorite genres. I believe in boundary pushing, you know. I think it's important, and I stand against the people that stand against the pushing of boundaries. And so just for me, in every respect, this is one of the best things I've ever seen. It's one of the best marching activities I've ever seen, and it's one of the best shows I've seen. As I say, considering how many fewer people that you have in a WGI production than you do in a DCI production, they did so much with it. They got so much from I don't want to say so little, because, you know, it's not little to put something on this, just comparatively to the DCI shows that I usually watch, which are often incredibly complex, and sometimes, not always, but sometimes have, you know, quite a few props, and you've got flags and color guard and, you know, props everywhere and yada yada yada, and stages and big frameworks and, you know, moving podiums and stuff like that. You don't have that here, and yet it was so effective. Especially, so I'm looking at the screen here. I probably shouldn't be. I should be looking at you, but I'm just looking at the still here that I've got, and just like at the end with the red line that got erased, and then they moved the lights that were around the perimeter of where they were performing, and they all ended up the other end. But then they weren't. So the lights changed to like multicolors, probably to signify that they're now surrounded by not a boundary, not a fence, not a wall, but maybe the multicolored lights at the end signified a new sort of freedom to express, something like that. But that was absolutely fantastic. I had the best time listening to that. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to meet you guys in the comments and talk about this one. It's one of my favorite things I've ever done. 100%. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful day. As I say, don't forget to subscribe, and if you would like to donate to my getting out to DCI in August, links in the description to my GoFundMe. We haven't got far to go now. Once we hit target, I will raise the target in case anyone else wants to. There are now, so basically, let me explain. I set it at £5,000 because there was some camera gear that I desperately needed to get in order to be able to shoot this kind of shooting. Doing it like this, I have a small point and shoot camera, and it's great for this. Like, it's brilliant for shooting this kind of video, but it's going to fall massively short for being out at DCI and trying to capture the footage that I need there. However, in getting the kit that I need, I've realized quite how many other little bits there are that I need that I don't have, that are needed for that specific camera and kit that I'm getting. So anyway, it doesn't matter, you don't need to donate for all of that. However, once we hit target, I will raise the target a bit in case people want to donate towards any unforeseen costs that I am going to inevitably incur. But don't worry, I will be working my hardest as well to make the money up to get everything that I need. So if no one else donates above what the target is right now, which is £5,000, we're about like £370 off target, guys. If no one else donates after £5,000, I won't mind. It's not an issue. You guys have been amazing. The only reason I'm going is because of you guys, and I'm so eternally grateful. It's incredible. However, I will raise the target once we get there, just in case anyone wants to help. As I say, I'm going through court for my kids at the moment, which is very expensive, which is the exact reason why I can't fund this trip myself. So this is happening all because of you guys, and I am so freaking grateful. But anyway, enough about that. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next video. But until then, be kind to yourselves, love everyone, and take care. I freaking love you guys.